Less than 5 minutes to go in the basketball game. Remember, the last 2 wins for Denver, both on the road, came down to the final possession. Thankfully, Denver won both of those. Inside the arc is Jokic. Porter 3. Got it! New season high for Michael Porter Jr. In this basketball game, he has 32 and a timeout called by the Pels.
Yeah, Malone. Michael Malone is here. MPJ,
Malone,
sorry. I was
Malone.
trying to say.
Why did you call him Mike?
Hey, Malone. I was trying to say MPJ. I screwed up already in the first second of talking. MPJ would go for 36. We are here with Coach Michael Malone. The Michael Malone Show brought to you by the Central City Casino Parkway. Take I-70 to exit 243. The Central City Parkway, your 4 lanes of fun. Well, that can't be the first one just to say Malone. People must have been screaming Malone at you for years for a variety of reasons.
Oh, they've been screaming a lot of things at me for many years.
We're here for a special Olympics clinic. Why don't you talk a little bit about what that means to you and the team and the organization?
It's an annual thing, right?
It is an annual thing, and obviously 10 years now since I've been here. And for me, I can't speak for anybody else on the staff or for our players, but it's my favorite event of the year.
Awesome.
You know, this is something that these young boys and girls, they look forward to all year long. And to have an opportunity to come here at Ball Arena on the court that the Nuggets play on and interact with the players that they look up to, our coaching staff. And for me, we get so engaged with the season and wins and losses and games and the emotions of that. And I think it's so important in life for you to take time to step out of that and realize what's important, and giving your time to these athletes today is not only rewarding for the athletes, but it's also rewarding for us. And I look forward to it, and I think our players do as well. And you can see when you watch this later on in about an hour or so, all the smiles, not just on the athletes, but on the coaches and players as well. That means that there's a connection, and a lot of good is being done.
Yeah, it's been a cool event forever. It's neat to see the best player in the world, as you've called him many, many times, like a little kid. And I think if you're looking at Nikola Jokic, there's probably family, horses, kids, basketball. That would probably be his priority list, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I think so. And to your point, you played last night, a good home win. You're going to have a game tomorrow night. But this is just a chance to relate to some young boys and girls that look up to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and every one of our other players. It's just so important to be a part of that. And we used to do it at Gold Crown. And since they moved it here, I think it just adds even that much more to the event, because if you're a young kid and you have a chance to be with the Nuggets players where they play every night, it's just a tremendous experience, rewarding experience, as I said earlier, for everyone involved.
The kids are – I've had a similar experience as a football player. I used to do camps. And then I one time just volunteered at a Special Olympics deal. I was like, that's what I'm doing from here on out. It's just so fun. The smiles, it's just so rewarding. But anyways, it's a cool deal. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Obviously, another big news of the day is we get the TV deal's done, right, with Comcast. And I am curious your thoughts on it. You got the best player in the world on your team. You've won a championship. You've had some incredible runs. And yet the reality is we've been living through some tough times with the TV stuff. For you guys, how does that feel to you?
Oh, it feels amazing. I'm so oblivious to what's going on in the world.
Yep.
As I was driving in today, Ryan Bowen, one of my assistant coaches, said to me, hey, did you hear the news? And obviously I think everybody's excited about the news because we have the best fans in the world, and now they're going to be able to watch us every single night.
All over.
Legally.
And, yes, key word, legally. But you think about the run that we've been on, the run that the Avalanche are on, and we want our fans to be able to watch us every single night. If you can't come down to Ball Arena, turn on the TV set, be able to watch us, support us. And I know that Josh and Stan, they've been trying really hard to get this deal done for a while now. And to have that done, I think it's just a tremendous accomplishment. We appreciate the fans' patience in getting this to where it finally got to this point. But now, obviously, continue to watch us, support us, and I'm just thankful that the deal was finally done, as I said earlier.
Cool game last night. Different game, huh? I mean, you had a mix and match. Had to try some different things. Zeke getting a start, which is pretty cool. It was fun hearing Michael Porter Jr. explain that Zeke works so hard. And I didn't even know that you guys did this, but the organization sets up places at night to shoot when you go on the road. That might be, who knows, high school gyms or college gyms or that sort of thing. And he emphasized how much Zeke is there all the time. Maybe you can speak on that a little bit, the dedication for these guys that haven't played as much, just to stay with it and have a chance. Like last night was a perfect example. We need you to contribute, and they did.
Yeah, and that's 2 games in a row for Zeke. Obviously, the game he had in Charlotte, his defense against Miles Bridges, and last night, his defense and offense. He's guarding a guy like Zion Williamson, who, as we all know, is one of the tough recoveries in the league. And Zeke fully embraced that challenge head on. He attacked it. And speaking to your earlier point, Dmac, where we're home, guys come back at nighttime and shoot. We're on the road. We'll find a gym if guys want to go and shoot. And Zeke is always in a gym. He's always working. And that's part of the culture that you want to create. We want self-motivated players. We want guys that are hungry. And it's also part of your job in terms of being a pro. I can't play everybody when we're healthy. And then when you have guys that are banged up and out, well, now we have to turn to some guys that maybe have not played. And Zeke's a perfect example of not getting down, or getting your dauber down, I think, as
that
Scott
was
Hastings.
Night, yeah.
You know, we're close to the same age. How do you not know that expression?
Well, we're not close from the same places we grew up.
Get your mug.
Northeast.
What would be equivalent from New York? Get your mug up, or
Get your mug, stop pouting.
yeah.
Don't stop feeling sorry for your whatever.
You can say that one.
Yeah.
All right, but you have to you have to keep these guys going a little bit. It's got to be challenged. Like, hey, listen, man, it's got to be tough for like a Dario Saric or other guys like that who just really aren't now, but you never know, right? I mean, at any moment.
Well, I mean, we've had so many guys here in my 10 years that you can point to, hey, you're not in the rotation, you're not playing. In 82 games, a lot of things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Injuries are going to happen. It's a part of every season. And so if you are staying engaged and staying ready, now you can go out there and grab that opportunity, seize that opportunity. But if you are feeling sorry for yourself, or you're worried about, well, I'm getting screwed, I'm not getting a chance, and you're not putting in the work, when you're given that opportunity, you're going to fall on your face.
Okay.
And you see that as well. So we have a great player development staff, coaching staff, and high-character players where we try to avoid that at all costs, keeping guys engaged, communicating with them. And, Zeke deserves all the credit. He's Aaron was out, Peyton was out. Zeke Naji last 2 games was really impactful and helped us win, obviously, 2 games in a row where he's played really, really well.
And go all the way back to your championship year in the playoffs. I mean, late in the season, Ish and even Reggie got Reggie late. Weren't playing much, but it seems like there was a game in the finals that Reggie had to go in. I think Ish got in one of the earlier rounds, had to go in and play. And I know they're veterans, and they're supposed to get it. But to have younger guys starting to get it earlier, that goes to the culture you're speaking about that you've talked about a lot on this show.
Yeah, but you also have to, we can talk about culture and the culture that we try to create and establish and live every single day. But the players have to buy into that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so Zeke, that's who he is. Zeke is from a great family. He's been brought up the right way with a mom and dad and a family that's pushed him to be dedicated and disciplined. And he's not going to feel sorry for himself. So I want to make sure that Zeke Naji deserves all the credit in the world, because he could easily have just kind of says, well, I'm not playing, I'm out of the rotation, and just kind of been hanging out. And that's just not who he is. It's not in his DNA. And we've seen that from him. And as we move forward, I think 5 more games to the All-Star break, we're going to continue to need everybody to step up while we have guys out.
It's been a crazy 48 hours in the NBA with some wild trades that a lot of people just could have never seen. And you were very definitive in coming out and saying we are not trading Michael Porter Jr. I am curious your thought process behind that, why Michael's so important to your team, that he's off limits right now, and what goes on behind the scenes during this period right now.
Yeah, well, just in terms of that, the question I was asked last night was, have you talked to Michael Porter about the upcoming trade deadline? And my answer was, I haven't talked to Michael Porter because, to my knowledge, in my talks with Calvin Booth, there have been no talks about trading Michael Porter. And the trade deadline, today's Tuesday, I believe. I get my days mixed up.
Right.
Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
And the trade deadline is 48 hours away.
Yep.
Who knows what's going to happen in the next 48 hours? I mean, I think Calvin Booth right now is his phone is probably just constantly ringing. And you have to take each and every one of those calls to see, can we do something that makes sense, that helps us now and into the future? And I think you owe it to yourself as an organization to take those calls and then have some real tough discussions about where we are, where we want to go, and who's going to help us get there. So it's not my job to say that Michael Porter or anybody else in our team won't be traded. My answer to the question was, to my knowledge, there's no need to have a conversation with Michael or anybody else because, to my knowledge, there's been no calls where we're actively shopping anybody.
Yep.
And, I give Calvin a lot of credit, his entire front office staff. I know Josh will be very involved, as he should, as an owner with his dad. And then we'll make whatever decisions we have to make. But this time of year, it's all about finding ways to improve. And if you think you have a team that's good enough right now, then you can stay with that. If you think you need to tweak or add, then you have to look at doing that as well. And we'll see what these next 48 hours bring.
The great philosopher Nikola Jokic last night, I thought said it best in the post game, and you were there and you cleaned up the quote with basically everybody should be available. I mean, right? I mean, no one should feel like safe, and you should. I took it as work your ass off. I mean, be prepared, be ready to play.
Well, he goes, nobody's safe, and that's the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be.
Sometimes Nikola just cuts right through it. Sometimes.
Well, I mean, let's not forget, this is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can be a cold-blooded business at times.
Yeah.
You mentioned the trade that, shocked everybody, when the Lakers and Dallas have the deal that they make. So if a guy who is regarded as one of the top 5 players in the world can get traded unexpectedly, that means anybody can get traded.
Yep.
And so that's what I mean by, I'm not saying that we won't make any trades. Calvin Booth is our general manager. He'll make all those phone calls, and we'll make a decision if we have to make a decision. So, but you have to challenge yourself to look within, a very honest look. Where are we? Where are we trying to go? What are our goals? And then you go from there. And I know that's what we're doing at the moment.
Can you make any sense of that deal? We're on conspiracy trails. We're trying to figure out different scenarios. We can't make sense of it. Does it make sense to you?
It doesn't have to.
not your circus, not your monkeys.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. I've been in the league. I grew up in this league. I've been in the league a long time, and expect the unexpected.
Okay.
Nothing makes sense. Things change quickly. That's one thing I realized when I first got in. They talk about things can change very quickly in this business. So there must have been things going on and decisions were made, but we have to worry about what's going on in this building to try to do everything we can to be the best team moving forward. And I don't rely upon trades to do that. My job is this is the team we have. How can I find a way to get us back to defending at the level we defended for a stretch? And we have an elite offense. We have an inconsistent defense. We haven't been healthy, and we just got to find a way to plug through these last 5 games going into the break, come back, recharge, and attack that final run.
You have an inconsistent defense, as you said. And yet, if you go back and look at those 2 wins on that road trip, those last 3 minutes, 45 seconds in particular, but the clutch time minutes that the NBA keeps stats on, that was elite. I mean, you're going on 7-0 runs to end games. You're going on 9-2 run, whatever it is, and winning games. You go and take 2 games on the road because, as you said, that inconsistent defense says, okay, we'll show up. How and I know that you'll say, oh, but how do you get that for 48 minutes? And is that possible to get that for 48 minutes or 40 minutes?
Yeah. Let's go 36.
Did I take 36, right?
No, I think it's definitely possible because we've shown we can do it. Not just this year, but in years past. The year we won a championship, we finished at defensive rating of 15th that year. But in the playoffs, our defense really stepped up. Last year in the playoffs, if you look at our last year's run, our defense was really good. We held teams to 33% from 3, 104 points, I believe. But we couldn't score. I mean, so yes, we can do it. And our clutch defensive rating, last time I looked, was elite, to your point. So we have moments, we have quarters, we have clutch time where, okay, time score situation, let's lock in. And then we have other times throughout the game where it's just like we're just trying to trade baskets.
Right.
And that bit us in the
dangerous.
Chicago game.
Yeah.
It's really dangerous because you give teams hope. And hope is a dangerous thing. You don't want to give anybody hope. You want to take that away as early as possible. So we can do it, but that's my job, Scott, to try to bring that out of us a lot more consistently from night to night, from quarter to quarter, than we have had as of late.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go. You know what I love about this? Because when we're here so often, it's so loud, and you're intense and whatever. It's kind of cool just to be here when it's a little bit more calm, isn't it? And to just sort of have a moment of reflection. And all of a sudden, this place seems settling and comfortable. I don't know if that's how you feel about it when the building's empty. Maybe I should just ask you. Well, what does it feel like when the environment, you go from last night or every night with the Nuggets, because every game's sold out, to moments of this? How does that impact you? And
Deep thoughts by Dmac.
That's
Right.
it, baby.
Right.
We're
Right.
here. Well, this is stuff I can't ask you in a press conference. How am I supposed to do this in a press conference, right?
Well, you could do it. I mean, I get a lot of strange questions in press conferences, so you could do it. I mean, so this is like my second home. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been here for 10 years, and the amount of time I spent in this building is just an incredible amount. And so, yes, it's cool when you're here and there's a packed house and the fans are going crazy,
Right.
and you feed off that energy. But it's also cool to come out here and not one person be in here.
Yeah.
And it's peaceful, and it's kind of like has a calming effect. But yeah, Pepsi Center, Ball Arena, all of it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed each and every moment here. A lot of highs, a few lows, and hopefully we can continue to build on that and get back to making this the toughest place to play in the NBA.
Now go meditate at the midcourt line.
Yeah. Have you been surprised? I know what hopped up in New York a little bit, Charlotte. As we traveled, have you noticed how many Nuggets fans now are in opposing buildings compared to maybe when you got here 10 years ago? I mean, you see Nuggets gear all over. I go up because they usually put us up high now. I go out and take a leak, and I'm getting, hey, Hasty, love you guys. And we're in New York or we're in Charlotte. I'm like, when did this explosion of Nuggets fans kind of across the country happen?
You know, it's funny. The other day in Charlotte, I was on the bus waiting to head to the arena, and I looked outside the hotel, and I was taken aback by how many fans there were. And a lot of times there'll be fans who want autographs.
Right.
But these were all fans with Nuggets gear on. And in the 10 years, and obviously in all the traveling I've done and all the people I see around the country with Nuggets gear on, hats, jerseys. 10 years ago, I could walk down Larimer Street and no one would know who the hell I was. And I was in Greece this summer, and people – so it's incredible.
Wow.
The 10-year run, the success that we've had, and how the Nuggets have become – like a real well-known team.
Yep.
And I think when you watch us play, it's not just because we won a championship. Nicole's a great player. But I also think it's how we play.
Right.
Like, if you're a fan of this game, how can you not like watching the Denver Nuggets play?
It's different than everybody else, that's for sure.
It's, ball movement. It's not just one-on-one ISO every possession. It's guys that are playing for each other. And I think we play on most nights. It's a real beautiful game to watch. And I think a lot of fans around the world have become fans of ours because of the style of play and how unselfish we are. And, there's a lot to like there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let you go, man. It's always great to chat with you, and we appreciate you taking so much time. And the kids are lining up, and the players will be out here shortly. So
Full roads to fun.
So, yeah.
We'll be having
Yeah, I
roads
should
of-
say that. Malone, Michael Malone show brought to you
Twice.
by the Central City Casino Parkway. Take I-70 to 243. Central City Parkway, your home. It's 4 lanes of fun.
4 lanes of fun.
I got it.
That was awesome. You crushed that.
You just butchered that. You know that.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
You
I
crushed
said
that.
Your 4 lanes to fun. All right, you know what I meant.
I know what you
It was
meant.
close enough. Just go there.
Hey, always a pleasure.
Thank
Even
you,
better being in
In
person.
person.
And
Yeah.
now I really understand what the term means. You have a face for radio.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a quick break.